of the Master sitting out there in P4. That's Malcolm Rapson. Then behind him in P5, the leader of the 600s. That's Jared Schultz. As they make their way through the kink. Then Jock Ackerman and Brett Roberts is having their own fight as they make their way out of turn 3, Damstip.
Having a look at the Masters, there's 3 of them out there. Malcolm Rapson from Jacques Ackerman and Peter Haupt. Peter Haupt finds himself on the R1 Field Racing sponsored bike a long way down in 12th position, so it's not worked that well for him. Jacques Ackerman and Malcolm Rapson, normally nothing between them. They line 4th and 6th overall. Only Jared Schultz in the 600 that splits the two of them. Jared Schultz being the leader in the 600 class right now.
Nothing between these boys as they go down into turn number 1, and right up front this time it's Slamet. Slamet's got the lead coming out of turn 1 KFM corner. Ronald Slamet, well, I'll tell you what, at the last 2 events, Ronald would have been sitting in 3rd place now, dropping off that pack, but all of a sudden, Slamet has come into his own as they exit G Energy corner with Mcfadden and Help sitting in 2nd and 3rd position. As a matter of fact, he's trying to get away from them as they head down the back straight.
Well, it's Mcfadden that's got himself to the front of that group of 3. And, well, he's actually pulled a little bit of a gap between himself and Ronald Slamet. So both Ronald and Brandon Haupt find himself all of a sudden looking at the tail end of that yummy R1. And he's just up, dusted and disappeared. I don't know what they did, but I know what he did. He just kept the taps wide open. And our international rider down here in Cape Town today, David Mcfadden, starts to show the boys the way around.
Yeah, you're quite right there, Gary. I just got the numbers mixed up. I thought it was Slamet that sat in P1, but incorrect. It's definitely Mcfadden that sits out there in P1, and all of a sudden, Dave is now beginning to, running on straight there. Well, what has Slamet gone and done? He's gone and got it all wrong out there. As a matter of fact, it's Helped that got it all wrong out there in turn number 1.
So it's now Mcfadden with a bit of a gap between himself and Brandon Haupt, with Ronald Slamet that was lying in 3rd position, having run off on the entrance to the KFM corner, so that's taken him right out of it. Having said that, Mcfadden that was looking really sharp, got the 1 minute 11.6. That is just about takeoff speed. That's amazing stuff. The leading 600 as always, and once again Jared Schultz from Brett Roberts, Brandon Staffen, Connor Hagen and Mike Hunter. The Masters, Peter Haupt still languishes at the back of the pack with a Field Racing yummy R1. But leading out the Masters with still Jared Schultz between himself and 2nd place, it's Malcolm Rapson from Jacques Ackerman.
Right, heading down into turn number 1. And out into KFM corner, Mcfadden leads Slamet. So I was right, it was Brandon Haupt that got it wrong going into KFM corner. He's dropped all the way down. Here comes Jared Schultz. Here comes Brandon Staffen. And right in there behind Brandon Staffen is Jacques Ackerman. Right on his case is Brett Roberts as they exit KFM corner. Connor Hagen that started in P14 has moved up all the way into 8th position. That puts him the 3rd 600 out on track, directly behind the 202 motorcycle of Brett Roberts. There we see Roberts exiting G Energy corner. There's that white machine right in there behind him of Connor Hagen as Connor tilts it to the left and runs down into turn number 3. Out of turn 3 they go as the leaders, Gary, work their way towards turn 5.
Well, they were so close originally, David Mcfadden, Ronald Slamet and Brandon Haupt. Brandon outbreaking himself and taking the runoff road on the entrance to KFM corner. Mcfadden that was there and thereabouts, looking good, looking quick, looking racy, but not a big difference between himself and the other two. Is now all of a sudden opened the taps, taken 2.3 seconds out of Ronald Slamet, and just moved on into the next dimension. Malcolm Rapson once again having a brilliant race with Brandon Haupt now moving ahead of Jared Schultz. Jared Schultz that's leading out the 600 class from Brett Roberts, and then Connor Hagen that's now gone 1 up on Brandon Staffen.
Right, so we keep an eye on them as they make their way into turn number 1. I see Jean-Baptiste Racapot heading down into KFM corner. Lovely to see that Michael Hunter has progressed from the Clubmans Class A bikes into the Superbike class. As that was awesome to see Mike, and he is pedaling that thing around here with absolute wild abandon as we wait for the leaders to work their way into Fostron corner. That's turn 5. Into Fostron they work their way. That's brilliant stuff as they exit Fostron corner. Now that twist grip is absolutely wide open as racing down into turn number 1 is Mcfadden. Mcfadden from Slamet in that second position. Waiting for Rapson. Here comes Rapson towards us. Right behind Rapson is Brandon Harp. Brandon Harp's on an absolute flyer as he chases down the master leader out of KFM corner.
Well, David Mcfadden on his last lap now. The fastest lap for David was a 1:11.6. He's just done a 1:12.1. So moving away at the front of the pack, only a half a second slower than his fastest so far. Ronald Stammett's done a brilliant job, but he finds himself 3.5 seconds now, having lost the toe to David Mcfadden. And McFadden's just up, dust, and disappear with the R1 as opposed to the ZX10R of Ronald Stammet. Malcolm Rapson has now got Brandon out and a Jared Schultz between himself and Jacques Ackerman. And that means that Jared Schultz leading out the 600 class with the ASAP World sponsored Yamaha 600, that ahead of Brett Roberts on a same and similar machine from Connor Hagen with a Suzuki GSX-R 600 and the 88 electrical. As David Mcfadden takes the checkered flag, here comes Ronald Stammet. He comes through, and then next up the Masters. Wow, Frankie.
It's changed. Help has got his way back up into that third position as Brandon Help comes across the line, and then the first of the Masters is Malcolm Rapson, and the first of the 600s behind him is Jared Schultz. Then the second of the Masters is Jacques Ackerman. Second in the Masters is Brett in the 600s is Brett Roberts, and third in the 600s across the line is Connor Hagen.
Well, a pretty decent run there by Brandon Steffen, coming through 9th overall and 4th in class from Mike Hunter. And JB Racapau has in fact gone one position up. He's gone up to 10th overall. Mike Hunter down to 11th. 12th is Desana. And then Peter Haupt. Well, he's been pretty off the pace today, has Peter Haupt. He's been very passive with a 1:18 in fact on that field racing 1 liter bike. So yeah. Oh, okay, we just got confirmation he is nursing a sternum injury. So that explains why he actually started going slower towards the end. So not enough pain tablets on board. Lots of fuel, but not enough pain tablets to work his way through that sternum injury that he is nursing. Right, here we go with Mike's Place Clubmans and our esteemed guest for the day, Clint Renard. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Gary. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Nobody better to ask than yourself. The inside line on the last races for the 2020 season of Clubmans.
Everybody, a lot of BMWs, like a BMW Formula now. One Lumina. It's got, I figured out how much power it's got. It's all of it. Okay, lots. Yeah, all of it. No, it's going to be interesting. Everyone wants to stamp their foot down, show what they can do next year, and see where it ends up.
And going forward, do you see Clubmans staying the size that it is?
No, I see it bigger. We are currently about 30% of the field that's still COVID crippled. And what's here today is the new people that's helped it coming along. So, yes.
So you think Clubmans for next season is well on its way to 50 cars per grid?
Per championship. So I reckon we're going to put 30 in ABC and 30 in DEF.
Sure, that's like going back 5 years.
Yes. Well, the entries as of yesterday was 51 for today. So I don't know how much is out here today.
Well, if they can do it with the 9 hours, surely we can do it as well, 51.
Definitely. Yeah.
We'll use them as an excuse. Well, and Clint, you're racing for next season. You have a gearbox that can put all, that's the word for today, all that power on the deck?
Yes, I think we developed it over last year. And the last 4 race meetings that we've driven with the box, it seems to be holding together. So, we're holding thumbs and crossing toenails and whatever. Yeah.
So what's the weak link in the car now?
Clint Renard.
Well, at least we know where the problems are. Well, Clint, thanks very much for having a chat with us, the technical guru and the man behind so much motivational work for the Clubman series. Sponsor for next season, tied up yet?
Tied up as in maybe 2 that you're going to spread the load with. Nothing signed and sealed yet, I think, but there is 99% commitment. So we don't have a worry because I know Mike Place wants to be with us.
Okay, without like name dropping, we know Mike wants to be with us.
Yes, no, definitely. Without name dropping, Mike's Place definitely wants to be with us.
And the second possible sponsor, also a well-known person or company linked to Clubmans?
New-ish, Car Care Clinic. Looks like
I've heard of them. I think Melspur might be I almost said the goosey, that would be wrong going out there. Melspur Car Care Clinic. Yep, I have heard that from her as well. In fact, we had her on the Second Gear Talk Show recently, and her main allegiance was to her main circuit up north where she rides in the Super Hatch series, but they are now down here in Cape Town. In fact, they have got a branch here in Bellville, and they're opening up new branches around the Cape Town area as well. So, Mel, no pressure, but welcome to Clubmans.
Yes, thank you, Mel. You're going to obviously get your money's worth with 60-odd cars on the track next season. So, that little bit that you're giving, you're probably going to have to end up giving double by the end of the year.
No pressure, as we said. As they come up onto the grid, wow, what a beautiful sight that is. Let's see what that camera shot looks like. Well, the camera shot's only showing you the front couple of cars, but spread right down the grid, 50 probably spaces that's going to be taken up as they all move up onto the grid. Well, Frankie, if this is, I see here, 34, it looks like a hell of a lot more than 34 if you ask me. Is probably somebody that a couple that didn't qualify. I see Charles Visser in the Polo 6, the Charles Electrical. I see he's in there with the Class X. Ferris Mannon is in there as well. Ian Kapp is in with the Class X. Colin Smith with the Class X. Guy Smith. And David Franco also with the Class X. Wayne Field Class X. Zach Groenewald Class X. And Lucian Downs Class X. So, as Clint Renard was saying, that's why I said the man with the inside line. Lots of new car driver combinations.
Yeah, and a couple of GTI Challenge drivers that have said they're going to enter Clubmans today, and there are a few of them that have decided this is where they want to come and play today. Well, we've got that Nissan 350Z, the old Sasol sponsored 350Z, and that is going to be on the second row of the grid and the outside, and on that 4th position. So lovely to see a whole lot more driver car combinations that's going to be taking part today He stays on the outside of Effendi as they work their way off the line on the outlap behind the pace car.
See Rasley Harris in there as well with the Golf. JP Shea, Ian Cap, Gary Smith, Ryan Lodge. I haven't seen Ryan out until just recently now. In fact, at the last meeting we saw Ryan Lodge joining us again. And coming off the back of the pack, that is Zak Groenewald. Typical Zak, he will always do something slightly different. So a couple of gearboxes later, as Clint Renard says, get all the power down. Let's hope that that gearbox holds together. I believe it's a Jag gearbox that's been put in there now, so that should be able to take all the grunt. I'm pretty sure if it holds together nice and neatly, you'll see him burning a bit of rubber before the end of this race. So pretty interesting stuff with Tony Lindeke, Lucian Down, Zak Groenewald, Wayne Field coming off the back of the pack. Up front, the front row of the grid, as always, Dani van Niekerk and Brendan Green. Suleiman Effendi in the Jimmy Motorsport BMW E30. Alongside him, the first of the Class X's, that's Steve McCarthy. That is with the old Sassel 350Z BMW, 350Z Nissan. Almost said BMW. That would be quite a smack in the face for the Nissan guys. That's up on the outside of the second row.
Well, Steve McCarthy is the man that's driving the 350Z, qualified on the second row of the grid in P4 on the outside of Suleiman Effendi.
Oh, Frankie, sorry, I just want to break in there. Wayne Wilson, Class A.
Well,
Sure.
that was always on the cards.
That was always going to happen.
That was always on the cards, yeah.
I just
as a matter of fact, he's sitting right there with the likes of Rasley Harris and Steve McCarthy in the DTM Helderberg Nissan Maxima and G Energy car as they head down the back straight. 30 Plenty, Mike's Place, Clubmans, regional saloon cars heading down into turn 5, into fast run corner behind the pace car. The pace car will pick up speed and move off the circuit, and that's a pretty picture heading there out of turn 5, Gary, as we're about to go racing 7 laps of Midas Clubman saloon cars.
Well, I tell you what, it's an amazing sight that really makes the heart grow fonder and fonder. And you're not the right time to have illusions of grandeur, as we're going to be going into the off-season after today, and we're going to have to wait till probably week 2 of February to be able to see this again. But, well, to the class sponsors for 2021, have a look at that. That's what's coming your way at the beginning of February. Holding back slightly there is Brennan Green. He's going to try and get the run on the outside. I think that he's going to get that run. In fact, Dani van Niekerk gets the hammer down pretty neatly and holds on to that one. Steve McCarthy losing out to Rasley Harris. Rasley Harris goes right around the outside with a Mark 1 Golf. In fact, he might even make it up into that 3rd position.
Right out of KFM corner.
Oh, he gets turned sideways. Rasley Harris, the BM turns him sideways, and I think he just went off onto the outside of the circuit. Wilson's off as well. And is that Brendan Green? No, it's not Brendan Green. There's a similar looking car to Brendan Green that also went off, and we've lost out also on the Maxima as well. And we've got a spin now on the exit of turn number 2. I think that could be Suleiman Effendi.
No, that's Modak. That's Imad Modak that spun. And the powder that looked very similar to a Green, that's actually Trappist van Tonda that was forced to the inside. So 2 cars losing out due to the incident there involving Rasley Harris.
Well, that's made a big gap from the front of the pack to the rest of the pack. It's Dani van Niekerk. It's up dusting and disappearing now away from Brendan Green. Then that is Suleiman Effendi that's in that 3rd position. Then it is Steve McCarthy. Then the next one that's in there behind that is Paul Minnick as they work their way down into Cape Town corner.
Right out of fast run turn, they come towards us now. Lap number 1 out of 7 is in the bag, and it's Dani van Niekerk that leads them into turn 1 into KFM corner. Coming towards us now and sloping right down Brennan Green. Brennan Green of Vescar Bakwerke. What's going on there with Brennan Green as they head into turn number 1 KFM corner? Right on his case there, we've got the Sassel 350Z Nissan of Steve McCarthy. Out of the KFM corner they come now. Behind Steve McCarthy, it's Paul Minnick working their way up towards turn number 2, towards G-Energy turn. Minnock leads an whole group of cars going through there as they exit G-Energy.
Whoa, some seriously late braking going down there into turn number 2. As you can see, Zak Groenewald starting to work his way up through the pace. Oopsie, and we got problems. Heavy fishtailing. I think that was Paul Minnock as he went down into turn number 2. As Trappist has gone off as well. Whoa, there's a major pile-up coming out of turn number 2. That Subaru got whacked in the side door. There is a Jetta that's very, very second-hand that's standing on the infield of turn number 2 as well. Lots and lots of damage to that motor car. There's 2 cars that's off. I think the Subaru is one of them going down into turn number 3 as well. I wouldn't be surprised if red flags come out here.
Well, the circuit is clear, so there won't be any red flags. The track is not obstructed. They should continue. There comes Suleiman Effendi across the line behind. Yes, the red flags
flag
do come out. So, yeah, you are quite
I do
right,
believe
Gary.
that
The car might have been too close to the side of the track, and that brought out the red flag.
Well, it looks like the entrance to turn number 3, there's 2 cars that's pretty close to the track. It looks like one of the BMWs, and I think it's the Subaru that's standing down there. There's a very second-hand looking Jetta there where you see Donnie van Niekerk now coming out of turn number 2. That's the one I think that went into the side of the Subaru. There was obviously damage on that motor car. X150, that's the one of them that's out. Sure, total chaos. Can you believe it? Some of the biggest chaos we've seen for a long time. Waynfield, yep, that's the one. Sure. They're going to have to slow this one right down and bring them back here onto the grid. I don't know how they're going to get this one sorted out because the cars are split up in all weird and wonderful denominations. So if they want to get this back into a regional order, it's going to be pretty interesting stuff. Oh, massive, massive, massive amounts of damage to numerous motor cars. I think they might be sent off track. I cannot see that they're going to get this one sorted out that quickly. And given the fact, Frankie, that the 9-hour is coming up and that has to run very strictly according to times. It is the last round of the SA Endurance Series. There's a lot of very expensive machinery that's down here. Lots of international drivers and national drivers taking part in that one. Lots of those backdraft Cobras that's going to be out there on circuit as well. That's a big, big draw card for that, as Ian Long with these slow tackies is down on the front straight and shows the guys back to the pits.
Yeah, I also showed that, which means you probably find that that is the end of that Clubmans race, sadly.
Okay, that explains it. There's oil coming through turn 2 down into 3. So that explains the spin-offs that we had from the apex of turn 2 and then also on the entrance to turn 3. That would have explained why Rasley Harris was and Paul Minnock was picking up a tank stepper as they came out of the King going down towards turn 3.
But remember, there was an incident coming out of KFM corner where Harris went very slow, and there was a few other incidents out there. Rasley Harris pulled the Golf of now on the opposite side of the circuit before you go into a turn number 3. There the car's moving now. I wonder, and I'm just guessing, if it's not oil that maybe came out of Harris's car, and he drove all the way around and went to go pull off there on the inside to the entrance of Dam Stip. So possible. The possibility is that it could be oil that came out of the Harris Golf. I'm not saying it is, I'm saying there's a possibility.
Having said that, if there's that amount of oil and there was no smoke, that's not a blown motor. That's probably a dry sump pipe or something similar that could have, well, let's ask the people that know. Clint, your views?
No smoke, oil cooler pipe, oil cooler broken. Obviously, he's had the contact with his friend Suleiman there. You can see Suleiman's missing a bumper, front bumper. Oops. Okay, so, I mean, they're friends with no love lost on the track. So, if it's going to be oil without smoke, then it's most probably a cooler, oil cooler.
You remember I said, Frankie, at the beginning of this conversation, the man with the inside line. There you go. Oh, way. Well, folks, that you see on your TV now, that's the guys that are moving back to the new pits, guys moving back to the old pits, and everybody finding their original positions. We'll wait to hear on the radio as to is that race totally canned straight off, or will it be rerun? We wait for the powers that be to determine the facts. Well, it can't be Rasli Harris because he's on his way down the back main, kind of slowly. But he's on his way down the back main, and that in fact is the ex-Clint Renard Golf that you see cruising down the back main. And if that had an oil leak on it and it had been identified, he definitely wouldn't be riding on the circuit. So that blows that theory. It was somebody else.
Yeah, well, that's why I said it's a possibility. I didn't say that it was his car, so clearly it isn't from the Harris Golf.
All right, confirmation that the race has been cancelled. Whether they're going to rerun it or not, no rerun. That's it. Good night, nurse.
Well, folks, the endurance cars are going to go out and do a warm-up session, and that will be for approximately 10 minutes or so. The South African 9-hour endurance cars, the final round of the SA Endurance Championship for 2020. These cars will go out onto the track and they will do the just a bit of a warm-up session, and that race is scheduled to start at 10 past 12, and that will take you through until 10 past 9 this evening. So we are waiting to see these guys come out for their enduro warm-up sessions. Right, I've just received a WhatsApp here from Francois Butler saying, talking to us about Drizzit. It's the sponsor that the marshals use to cover the oil spills. We'd like to thank them for their support. Drizzit, that's that brown substance that the marshals put out on the track to absorb the oil. It's a special product to pick up oil, and it's also environmentally friendly. So the sponsors that provide Drizzit, a big thanks to these guys for helping us. It's much better than using the cement dust that gets used every now and then or at most race events. So thanks to Drizzit, the sponsor of the brown product that the marshals use to clean up the oil on the circuit. Well, folks, we're back up again. The SA Endurance Championship cars have had their 15-minute warm-up session. And we're going to go back now to the motorcycle racing. A lot of you want to know about what has happened to the Formula Libras and what's happened to the V8 Masters and Supercars combined. Well, that has been removed off the program for the rest of the day. Our radio man Emil Brunt was just informed by one of the officials that has been removed off the program for the day. So we're going to go straight back to the RST and Suzuki South regional superbikes. From there we'll go to the Mike's Place Clubmans saloon cars. There will also be, well, there was supposed to be passenger rides. I'm not sure if that's going to happen either. We'll get confirmation for you. And then from there, we'll go straight into the 9-hour enduro. So, yeah, the program has been revised heavily for that matter. But it's all about making space for the SA Enduro Championship. And, of course, that has to run on strict times. Even all the other races have been shortened. Superbikes, race number 1 was over 9 laps. This one will also be over 9 laps. Clubman's cars was supposed to be 8 laps. They turned it to 7. They only did 2.5 laps before chaos broke loose, and that was canned. So, yeah, due to the SA Endurance Championship final round that has to run strictly on time, unfortunately, the rest of our program has been turned upside down and a touch inside out.
Yeah, Frankie, it's one of those difficult days with the 9-hour looming in the not-too-distant future, so they will be using most of the track. Well, it's possibly be Brandon Haupt's last race, and so to Peter Haupt here at Killarney, they have a distinct possibility of immigrating to Portugal, so maybe we'll see Brandon Haupt on Portimao in the not-too-distant future. So to Peter. We'll keep an eye out for that. David Mcfadden on the 2020 Yamaha R1M. So he's looking all nice and strong. We're waiting there for Ronald Slammett. Michael Hunter there on the 13600.
I'll tell you what, that little 600's done marvels in Clubman's Class A. The way he has ridden that thing. And on his inside, there are a couple of more 600s, Brandon Staffen and Brett Roberts. And ahead of Brett, the leading 600, Jared Schultz. So they're all there. Then you've got the two masters in Rapson and Ackerman. And it looks as if Ronald Slammett has disappeared off the grid.
Yeah, Slammett not there. They're under starters orders. Lights on and racing. And away they go. Brandon Haupt gets the whole shot down towards KFM. David Mcfadden's in there. Looking up on the inside. Slammett came out the pit lane. So keep an eye there on Jared Schultz. Lies there in P3 in that distinct pink leather outfit of his as David Mcfadden chases the back there of Brandon Haupt. Mcfadden to look around the outside. Possible switchback maneuver there. But Haupt hugs that curb. Doesn't allow Mcfadden through. And it looks like Malcolm Rapson sits there in P4 with Jacques Ackerman there as well. So they make their way down into Damps, up into KFM, and they're going to work their way up towards Car Care Clinic Corner.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ronald Slammett started from the Joubert pit complex, and it was the second last bike into turn number 1 KFM corner. So he's got a mountain to climb. He wants to catch that man going down the backside, Brandon Haupt. With right behind him is Dave Mcfadden, P3, and leading 600s is Jared Schultz. As the three of them run down into turn number 5, into Fostron corner. Out of Fostron they come now. There's a challenge there on Helped by Mcfadden, but it's still Helped that sits out there in P1 as they work their way across the line into turn 1, followed there by Schultz. Then we've got Jock Ackerman, and right there with Jock Ackerman is Brett Roberts as they exit turn 1 KFM corner.
Looking nice and tight this time round as they lead out. It's still Haupt there from Mcfadden. Mcfadden trying to close down on the inside of Haupt. Haupt dives across his bow and keeps him totally honest. Then it's going to be Ackerman and Rapson sitting there behind Jared Schultz in 4 and 5 respectively. They work their way around the circuit. And around Connor Hagen. Upper head there of Michael Hunter and co. Connor Hagen shifting nicely. Slammer trying to work his way through there behind Michael Hunter. Some of the other bikes bring up the rear there. Stefan's out there as well, as the leaders now come out of turn number 4, Car Care Clinic corner, and make their way down the back straight.
Right down the back straight, they work their way, heading in towards turn number 5 into Fostron corner. Out of Fostron, they work their way, heading now towards the bridge. To the kink they come now, and these guys are right on each other's cases as they head back up towards us once again. It is Haupt and Mcfadden that sits out there. P1, P2, then it's Jared Schultz behind Schultz. It is Ackerman behind Ackerman. It's Malcolm Rapson right on the case of him there. We've got Robertson right there with Roberts. Ronald Slamet is making his way through the field. He's gone past 6, 7, 8 bikes, if not more, as Ronald Slamet, and now he makes the move coming through there on Roberts. Right behind Roberts now is the 8 machine of Connor Hagen.
Connor Hagen in there trying to challenge the back of Brett Roberts. Roberts leads out. Behind him it's Stefan as well. Stefan and Michael Hunter, they're going to work their way through. Keep an eye there on Slamet as he tries to work his way through the field. The 2 leaders there, David Mcfadden posting a 1:12. They did 1:11s in the previous race, so we expect the bikes to be quick, but they're not that quick that they'll go down into the 10s as Mcfadden leads out now on Haupt. He got him coming out of turn 4. So now it's up to Brandon Haupt to see if he can close down. Slamet riding down, he's in about P6. Those 600s are having a lovely ball there. Jock Ackerman sitting up there behind Jared Schultz. Jock looking very racy there on the ZX10.
Right, the leaders coming back up towards us once again. Mcfadden from Haupt sitting in P1 and P2. There comes Schultz right behind Schultz. That's Ackerman and Rapson, and here comes Slamet. Roberts coming through now, and Roberts has been caught there by Connor Hagen as they head into turn 1 into KFM corner. Brandon Staffen and Michael Hunter are right there with each other as they exit KFM. But I'll tell you what, this is an awesome ride here by Michael Hunter. Never mind the fact that he's not at the sharp end of the field. We don't expect him to be there initially, but Hunter has done marvels with that 600 in the 2020 season so far.
Yeah, Michael Hunter coming from the Breakfast Club, now working main circuit, contending with the 600s, the likes of Jared Schultz, Brandon Staffen and Connor Hagen, and really showing a sterling job. But going down the back straight, side by side, it's Haupt and Mcfadden. They're rubbing shoulders going down towards Fostron corner. Mcfadden's going to dive across the bow there of Haupt, but those 2 Yamahas are even killed. They're not giving each other a chance here as they come out of Fostron corner. Mcfadden leading out. Haupt is right up there, up his exhaust now as they come down the port straight down towards KFM. Have a look at this for high pace. And still the quickest man out there now, Brandon Haupt on a 1:12.2. Are they going to break the 1:12? Now have a look there. Malcolm Rapson's got by Jacques Ackerman and Jared Schultz. So keep an eye there on Rapson, the fastest accountant in Africa, pulling a sly one there, catching them coming out of 5, and he now leads out, and he's got a healthy half a second lap there over Jacques Ackerman. So Ackerman's going to have to come back. Schultz and Slamet is looming on the back there of Jared Schultz.
Yeah, keep an eye on those 4. That's exiting G&G corner. That would be Malcolm Rapson, Jared Schultz, Ronald Slamet, and catching them as well is Brett Roberts and Connor Hagen. As a matter of fact, Hagen is right on the case of Roberts as they work their way through turn 3. So Brett Roberts has got his work cut out if he wants to keep Connor Hagen behind him. Hagen is right on his back wheel as they work their way out of turn 4, Car Care Clinic.
Looking at Brandon Haupt going on to turn 5. He tried to dive in there on Mcfadden. Mcfadden is just stupendously late on the brakes. He leaves it late and then comes out of turn 5 pretty quickly. Fast strong corner, down the port straight he goes. Mcfadden leading out over Brandon Haupt. They got 4 laps left in it, so they're halfway through their heat here. Having a look here at 3rd place, Malcolm Rapson getting away from Jacques Ackerman, Ronald Slamet and Jared Schultz. Slamet needs to get past Ackerman to go past Rapson, so he's got his work cut out for him. Behind them, Brett Roberts, Connor Hagen, Brandon Staffen, and then Michael Hunter across the line. And Peter Haupt and Lubabala and Tesano having a right royal scrap at the back end of the field.
Right, having a look at this Tice that's making its way out of G-Energy corner. And Malcolm Rapson leads that group out there as they work their way through the kink, heading now towards turn 3. Rapson coming out there And right behind him, Jock Ackerman. Ronald Slamet is right in there. He crossed the line in P5. He moved up a good couple of positions. Schultz, Robertson, Hagen and Staffen were the next guys through. But the leaders working their way into turn number 5, into Fostron corner. And once again, Dave Mcfadden is beginning to break the toe and do what he does best. And that is hit the lead and disappear down the highway. Mcfadden P1, Help sits out there in P2. They are light years away from this battle that's coming towards us now. This one's been led there by Malcolm Rapson. Here comes Rapson towards us. Behind him, it's Slamet. Behind Slamet's Ackerman. Then the leading 600 of Jared Schultz. And this is another battle heading towards us now. It's another 600 battle. The battle of Brett Roberts and Connor Hagen. And they've been caught there by another 600 of Brandon Staffen, as that's a fight for second, third and fourth in the 600 class. That's working its way now towards turn 2 G-Energy corner as Connor Hagen dives up on the inside. What a move there by Connor Hagen on Brett Roberts into turn 2.
Well, Connor Hagen, ex-short circuit exponent, he knows how to ride that part of the circuit and he makes it work for him. He's brought all that talent through to the main circuit as Connor Hagen is now on that 600 doing exceptionally well. So he's showing Brett Roberts how it works. He's on that Suzuki GSXR with the 600s against the Yamahas. And keep an eye on the leaders now. Mcfadden coming up over the line, followed there by Brennan Out. They are absolutely light years. And then having a look here at third place, here comes Ronald Slamet. He's up alongside Rapson down towards turn number 1. But Rapson says to him, if you want to get past me, you're going to have to work for it. So Malcolm Rapson, first in the Masters, third overall, leads out there over Ronald Slamet. They come out of turn number 1 up the Uber straight down. Rapson pulls that Suzuki and says to Slamet, well, if you want to play, come play. I'm ready to play. Behind him, Jock Ackerman leading out there over Jared Schultz. Schultz here trying to hang on to the back of Jock Ackerman. And it looks like Brett Roberts has got ahead there of Hagen, but Hagen goes around his outside. What a suicide maneuver. Brilliant, brilliant stuff there as he goes around Brett Roberts. So the two of these guys are at longer heads here as they go into turn 3. Down into turn 3, they work their way now up towards Car Care Clinic corner. They are looking exceptionally quick there. Having a look at the leaders now. Mcfadden has broken the toe there over Brandon Van Haupt. So they're going to start their penultimate lap. Come across the line. Over the line goes Mcfadden on that new 2020 Yamaha. And he's got about a second lead there over Brandon Haupt. So up they go, leader now on his way to G-Energy corner is David Mcfadden. He's looking extremely strong on that 2020 Yamaha. Rolls into G-Energy. Keeps it nice and tight up against the curbs. Got the knee down just off the top end of the curb. Brandon Haupt sits up there behind him. Having a look now, see as Slamet has got past Malcolm Rapson. So Slamet will take that third position, which is a good fight there from him after starting in the pits. Good show there as Malcolm Rapson sits up behind him. He's on the Suzuki. Then behind him it's Jock Ackerman and Jared Schultz having a right roll. It's a 600 versus 1,000. Just gives you an idea of how well Schultz is riding, because Ackerman is no slouch whatsoever. So they make their way into Car Care Clinic corner, and Schultz right up the exhaust pipe there of Jock Ackerman, making his way down. I think we're going to have a checkered flag pretty shortly. Yep, the marshal stands there with a checkered flag. David Mcfadden takes heat number 2 as well. Ahead there of Brandon Haupt. The rest of the field now going to Fostron corner. And Ronald Slamet holding sway there over Malcolm Rapson. Coming up towards the line. Slamet hard on the gas now, up against the wall. Runs it down towards the line. And just gets past Malcolm Rapson there. Followed by Jock Ackerman over the line. Followed there by Jared Schultz. First of the 600s. There's another little 600 slugfest coming up towards us here. And it's Brett Roberts who gets ahead there of Connor Hagen. So that one turned up proper. Here's Brandon Staffen. He's on the 600 Yamaha. He's over the line. Next up towards us here is going to be Michael Hunter. And then the there's a couple of bikes coming up towards us here now. And this looks like it's going to be Libra and Tasana. Followed there by Jean-Baptiste Racapot and Peter Haupt. So that's their second and final heat of the day. That was pretty exciting. Chaps all congratulating each other, saying thank you very much for 2020. And, well, I think we had a fantastic season of motorcycle racing here in Cape Town. If anybody didn't enjoy it, well, then it's your own fault. It is absolutely edge of the seat stuff. And I think everybody enjoys themselves when the bikes are out on circuit. To RST South, thank you very much for sponsoring the Superbikes for 2020. Without you, the racing would not be possible. Right, folks, next up, the Formula Libras. And their second race of the day. Also, it's only going to be 6 laps. There on pole position, Byron Mitchell, alongside him, DJ Boyson on the Dyco Electrical and McCarthy Toyota pole-sponsored machine. Richard Carr sits there on the second row. And see James Beaumont's car out there, so he's not going to be able to make it. Graham Knight is there in the Elof Transformers car, the number 4 machine. The 96 of Ricky Anderson sitting there on the third row. Good to have Ricky out there as well. And the ex-DJ Boyson car now in the hands of Albertus Engelbrecht. Under start disorders and off the line they go. DJ gets a good start up alongside Byron Mitchell. They make their way down towards Camden corner. Byron Mitchell gets the whole shot. Graham Knight looks to look up the slot there into third place ahead of Richard Carr. Ricky Anderson gets taken just a little bit up there by Zane Amundsen as they work their way now up towards G Energy corner. Into G Energy they go. Into G Energy corner they go, and it's still Byron Mitchell leading out over DJ Boyson. DJ trying to stay in touch there with Byron Mitchell. Byron Mitchell into Damps now, working his way up the KFM straight towards Car Care Clinic corner. DJ trying to stick there with him. They come into Car Care Clinic corner, and DJ now on the money, sitting behind Byron Mitchell. Mitchell's on the loud pedal. He's going to be riding the 9-hour as well, so he's just getting in a couple of laps to loosen up the joints. Although he's still a young lad, he's only 20 years old. Makes his way down into Fostron corner. Nice to see GJ hanging in there with him. They've broken away from the rest of the field, been led out there now by Graham Knight. Knight taken down towards Fostron corner. The whole gaggle of cars up there behind them. Richard Carr's in there. Zane Amundsen, Ricky Anderson. Anderson's under a bit of pressure. Someone running around the outside of him. I think that could be Albertus Engelbrecht, if I can see correctly. Yep, it was, but Anderson manages to hold on to his position. He's going backwards at an alarming rate. He needs to get on the loud pedal as Engelbrecht goes up on the inside. Bring up the rear there, young Kelly Fletcher, the lady in the race. She's having oodles of fun out there in that machine, is Kelly. So take nothing away from her now as the, should I say, the main group here from third position. Graham Knight, Richard Carr make their way up towards Cyril Somerville's in there as well. Somerville, Zane Amundsen. Now Ricky Anderson flows in there. Richard Carr's in there as well. And Albertus Engelbrecht now falling a little bit off the time. You have to try and be a little bit quicker. And poor Ricky Anderson's getting mugged from all sides. He gets taken up on the inside there by Richard Carr. So he's not too happy about that one. As the leaders now once again make their way down into Fostron corner. And Byron Mitchell is now starting to turn up the wick. He's pulling away there now from DJ Boyson. Well. Have a look at this. Byron Mitchell crosses the line. He's got 4 laps to go. And a 1 minute 12.6. So now, if you can keep an eye on Byron Mitchell in that Formula Volkswagen, he is doing exactly the same times that the Superbikes were doing, folks. So now, is that quick or is that quick? I reckon that's quick enough for the day. So Byron Mitchell lighting up the circuit. And he did a 1 minute 10 not so long ago in this car. Himself and the chap that will be riding for the Paget Lamborghini today, Mr. Andy Rackstraw. So they've circulated around Killarney in 1 minute 10. Absolutely nothing to be sneezed at. So we look forward to watching Andy in the Paget Lamborghini today. And Byron Mitchell, well, they'll be in their little Golf. They're just doing the 9-hour for the experience. We look forward to that one as well. Lots and lots of fun to be had here today by all. As Byron makes his way down the back straight, down towards Fostron corner. He's put a sizable gap now, probably about 4 seconds there over DJ Boyson. Into Fostron corner goes Byron Mitchell, rolls out that blue and yellow car of his nice color regime on that machine. And comes out of Fostron now down the Porsche straight. And let's have a look, see if Byron is up the ante ever so slightly. Indeed he has. Now 1 minute 12.4. Like I said, this lad just when he's out front gets quicker and quicker. He just actually needs someone to spur him on. And then he breaks those sub-11s. So Byron Mitchell now making his way up towards G Energy corner. DJ Boyson coming out of KFM. The rest of the field now making their way down towards Fostron corner. And still, it looks like it's Graham Knight leading out. Graham Knight is, well, no, he's got fallen back. He got taken there in turn 5. 2 cars past him. So we wait for them to come up towards us. It could be Somerville. Is it Somerville that's leading out as they come towards the line? They cross the line now. And it's Richard Carr. Richard Carr leading over Peter Hills, then Graham Knight, then Cyril, then Albertus Engelbrecht, Zane Amundsen, and then Ricky Anderson. Followed there by Kelly Fletcher, who's ahead of Reino Pence. Hello, Reino. Now, Reino Pence, an old exponent of the short circuit, very quick in a Formula M. But now suddenly young Kelly Fletcher putting a set of ears there on Reino Pence, and she's trying to force him out. She locks him out coming out of turn 1. Reino is not going to be too excited about that one in the Formula V. And he's going to see if he can go around the outside of her in G Energy corner, but Kelly hugs the corner. Is she having fun or what? Lovely to see. 2 laps left in this one. They're going to on their penultimate lap and make their way now. The leaders are going through the turn number 4. As we wait for them to come out. I lie. Sorry, the leaders are in turn number 2 already. Hells, bells, are they quick or what? Byron Mitchell still on the 1:12.4. Well, he's just hanging in there. It's his final lap basically to go. He makes his way through. The rest of the field now making their way into fast strong corner. Richard Carr still, well, he was leading out. That looks like Peter Hills has got past him. Indeed he has. Peter Hills has got past Richard Carr. So Hills crosses the line ahead there of Richard Carr. Then Graham Knight, Albertus Engelbrecht, Cyril Somerville across the line, Zane Amundsen, and Kelly Fletcher is up. And then Ricky Anderson over the line. We wait for Kelly there ahead of Reino. Reino's looking up on the inside. Is he going to make it? Reino's up on the inside. Kelly dives across Reino's bow. Whew. He got a little bit of a spook there. Kelly is fighting for the win here over Reino Pence, and she's getting on the loud pedal up towards G Energy corner. Lovely to see the... Oh, hello. Byron Mitchell has just done a 1:12.1, folks. This youngster is absolutely rotating around this circuit. So we'll keep an eye on him. See how he does. Leaders through there now. And Mitchell going down into turn number 3, making his way up the KFM straight up towards Killarney corner. DJ Boysing can see him down the road. Here goes DJ. And Byron making his way down the back straight now down towards turn number 5 for his final time. The flagman waits. Byron Mitchell actually lapping some of the cars there up ahead of him. Zane Amundsen is his next target. Will Byron go past him or will he allow him to complete his lap? I don't think that's the nature of Byron. He'll get on the loud pedal. He sits up on the outside of the circuit, gets the loud pedal. Checker flag beckons. Byron Mitchell takes heat number 2. Wait for DJ Boyson to come through. There he comes now, down towards the checkered flag. DJ Boyson, a Dyco Electrical Performance Machine, McCarthy Toyota Pole-sponsored outfit. He comes home in 2nd place. Well, that was a brilliant race. They lapped Zane Amundsen, Ricky Anderson, Kelly Fletcher, Reino Pence, and Donovan Ramsey. We'll wait for Richard Carr to work his way through. Well, folks, we've just learned something on social media. We might be ever so slightly behind the times. But rumor has it that it's Uncle Supervan's birthday today. Sarel, as oom luister, wil ek jou net voorspoedige en jaar vorentoe wens en alle geluk vir jou verjaarsdag. Ek hoop jy geniet jou dag en jy kan dit nie beter vier as in 'n renmotor nie. So Sarel van hom, have a happy birthday, have a lovely day and enjoy your racing. Right, rest of the field come home. Peter Hills, Richard Carr, Albertus Engelbrecht, Graham Knight, and the last one over be Cyril Somerville to complete the Formula Libra Race 2. Right, we've got a couple of honoured guests here today, a few of our friends from the South African Air Force. Colonel Gagiana and his folk, welcome to Killarney. Nice to have you here. And then the Premier of the Western Cape, Mr. Alan Windy. Sorry, no pun intended. Premier, welcome to Killarney International Raceway. Nice to have you here. I believe you're going out for a trip in a motor car pretty shortly. Enjoy that one. I think you have had one recently with Dr. Greg Mills. I saw that on social media. Dr. Mills, thank you for taking the Premier around. And I think you'll be going out again. So, guys, enjoy it. And we look forward also to our South African 9-hour later today. Right, folks, out on circuit at Janetta. I think that is the car that Premier Alan Windy is in. He's been taken around the circuit. Very possible with probably Dr. Greg Mills who will be taking him around. That's the Trans-Africa Racing Janetta. And Frankie, that's not a bad idea. Maybe we get Premier Alan Windy to come and visit us upstairs.
Yeah, I tend to fully agree with you. If we can get the Premier of the Western Cape, Alan Windy, up into the commentary box, we can have a chat with Alan to find out exactly, first of all, his experience around Killarney in a Janetta, and then just to have a quick chat to the Premier about the situation that is happening in the Western Cape, because then we can hear it directly out of our leader in the Western Cape, our Premier Alan Windy.
Welcome to KFM 94.5.
The sun is out and I got that feeling. The KFM summer is here. The heat is not just emanating
From the tarmac on the roads, emanating from your speakers. It's got me in the fields, the KFM summer fields.
KFM 94.5.
All right, folks, here we go. Mike's Place Clubman Saloons, and it's race number 2 and the final race for Mike's Place Clubman's 2020. Donnie van Niekerk, front row of the grid. Remember, going slow was Brendan Green just before the red lights came on. Brendan Green does not look like he's out on circuit again, unless that is Brendan right at the back of the pack. It looks like it could be, so we probably find that it's turbo boost pipe problems for him. That's the only thing that normally stops that man from being out there and having fun. So Donnie van Niekerk with in there behind him, the 85 of, appears to be Bruce Meyer, but it's not. And then Bruce Meyer a whole heap further down the pack. Steve McCarthy. Oh, Wayne has made it back out on circuit with his number on the car with an A in front of it now. I see Dylan Nell, Charles Visser, Gary Smith. Nice to see all these guys making it back out on circuit. Chiara van Niekerk, the second of the two main Wingfield entries. Wingfield being the sponsor of the 2020 series for West Province Motor Club Killarney International Raceway. So a big thanks to Johnny van Niekerk. I think it's about 8 years or something like that he has been the main sponsor for us. So fantastic to actually have him involved, and I believe will be carrying on with us for next season as well. So Frankie, this will be the last time the Mike's Place Clubman's cars will be out for 2020. And what an amazing season they have had for the time period that we did get a chance to race, and looking good now also for 2021.
Right, this is the last time that the Mike's Place Clubman's regional saloon cars will be out on track. There's over 35 cars. We're led to believe that for 2021 we're going to have close to 50 Clubman's cars out there as they circulate out of Damstip, working their way up the KFM straight into turn 4, Car Care Clinic corner. And Brendan Green, the man that qualified in pole position, had an issue out there in race 1. He is right at the back with the Westkop Bakwerke Golf, the Golf 5, and he will make his way through. It's an honor to have Premier Alan Windy in the commentary box with us. We'll have a chat with the Premier directly after this race. You can enjoy the Clubman's race with us. Sir, it's an honor to have you with us.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
So as the Clubman's cars work their way down the back straight, Gary, this is the last race that we'll see, or the last time for 2020 we'll see the Clubman's cars out in anger.
Actually hurts when you say that, because this is one of the premier classes for Killarney International Raceway, and the reason that many people come to the circuit, and the fact that these guys are looking forward to a very strong 2021. It's going to be a big draw card for West Province Motor Club Killarney International Raceway as well. So as Premier Alan Windy has been out on circuit, that was one nice occasion. Now he's got the opportunity to stand up at the best seat in the house, up here with us in the commentary box, looking resplendent in his race suit. I'm sure that he's going to wear that again somewhere along the line. Right, here they come up towards us now. Nice to see the likes of Steve McCarthy that's made it into the class as well, the man that's been involved with WPMC for many years and came to fruition in the Makita Power Tools Supercars back in the day. Well, he's got the 350Z out there, but I think it's going to be all about the man on pole position. Donnie van Niekerk, Wingfield Motors, the sponsor for 2020. Whoa, they held the lights right up until the line. Look at that. The Visser car swamped in the middle of that pack. Everybody working their way down into turn number 1. It looks like everybody's going to make it through KFM corner. So far, so good. 2 abreast, 3 abreast, 4 abreast. Look at that gaggle, 5, 6, and 7. Oh, they're touching one another. They're rubbing wheel nuts as they come out of the corner. Everybody makes it through. So it went wholly better than what the V8 Masters went. They didn't make it out of turn 1. The Clubman's boys, line astern, 2 abreast, 3 abreast, they make it through the corners.
Right through the kink they run now towards Damstip, and Donnie van Niekerk has got a lovely start off the line. He must have about a 2.5 second there on Suleiman Effendi. That is in that second position. He's been chased down there by Shane as they rake back up. There comes Modak, Imad Modak sitting right in that group as well. And he's right ahead there of Steve McCarthy in the Sassel 350Z Nissan. Down the back lane they go now. So it is down the back lane. Here comes Lopez, right behind Lopez. We've got the Bruce Meyer industrial flooring car as the whole field of the Clubman's cars work their way into turn 5, Fostron corner.
Well, there's one very quick car on its way down the back main. That's in the hands of Zak Groenewald. He came off the back of the pack in heat number 1. He came off the back of the pack, well, just about the back of the pack for heat number 2. And he was working his way very quickly through the cars going down the back main. That car's got lots and lots of power. And as he works his way up the front main, passing cars one after the other. So lots of Class X cars that is out for this one, which means that if they start and finish both races on the day, they then get categorized into a class for the beginning of next season and will score for the duration of the season in a specific class.
Right out of turn 2, out of Genergy corner, they go now, and Shane Smith goes a touch wide. Here comes Daniel Kutsia. It's not Modek, it's Kutsia, but right behind him he's got the Sassel 350Z Nissan of Steve McCarthy. Not too far behind them out of turn 3. It's Damon Lopez, Bruce Meyer, Willie Swart is in there as well, Charles Visser, and look at Zak Groenewald in that Holden Commodore running through on the inside of him as they work their way out of a turn 4 car care clinic. That Holden Commodore is busy cutting and carving its way down the back main towards turn 5 Fostron.
Look at the straight line speed. I'm going to have a look, see what's going to be his fastest lap time for today, and I think you're going to find it's going to be very close to what's happening right up front with the likes of Donnie van Niekerk in the E36 van Niekerk Racing Wingfield Motors BMW. As he comes across the line, he will do a 1 minute 23.04. Well, it's a pretty warm day, so to be expected. Zak Groenewald this way, he'll probably be around about 6th or 7th position as he comes past us, the GNA Motorsport sponsored car, and he's hard on the brakes as he goes down into the KFM corner. Now the man that's in front of him in the 350Z, that is a Steve McCarthy. That's the first of the big hitters that is now coming up behind.
Right as the leader makes its way out of a turn 2 Genergy corner, working his way through the kink, heading towards Damstep. Daniel van Niekerk's lead is getting bigger and bigger with Suleiman Effendi there in that second position. Right behind him, we've got Shane Smith in the BMW, followed there by Daniel Kutsia. Right on his case, there is a Nissan 350Z of Steve McCarthy. They're trying to get away there and not really succeeding from the Commodore of Zak, but Zak is sailing in on their back bumper as they exit turn 4 car care clinic. Down the back, man, watch the power of that Holden Commodore as he pulls away from Damon Lopez, who's been kept honest there by Bruce Meyer and Willie Swart, as those pack of Clubman's cars race down the back straight towards Fostron corner, turn 5.
Just 2/10 short of the Wingfield Motors car of Donnie van Niekerk is Zak Groenewald, working his way right through up already into that 5th position. Well, it's a matter, oh, they're going to come 3 abreast through the bus stop. You can't do that. They came 3 abreast through there. Now he's going to dive up on the inside of the 3 Series Beamer from the back of the pack to 2nd position. That's Zak Groenewald. And well, their time that he's running there is very, very quick. Donnie van Niekerk, a 1:22.873, just outside of that is Zak Groenewald, and in fact there's only 2 more cars to go in front of him. He's up into 3rd position at this point.
Well, he's worked his way up into P3 as they exit Genergy corner. Right behind him, it is Shane Smith, Steve McCarthy, and Daniel Kutsia, and they're watching that Holden Commodore disappear as they make their way out of turn number 3, out of Fostron corner. Then it's a bit of a gap before we see another 3-way tussle between Damon Lopez, Bruce Meyer, and Willie Swart, as Meyer had a quick squeeze up on the inside there of Lopez. Lopez gets run wide out of turn number 4, car care clinic. Down the back main they come now. Now he does the in-out there on Lopez. Down the back main they go, but Damon Lopez has got the straight line speed there on Bruce Meyer, and right on their case heading into turn 5 Fostron corner is the Jetta 2 of Willie Swart.
Suleiman Effendi in the Jimmy's Motorsport E30 BMW is in that 2nd position. Well, I think he's well on his way to a Class A rating as well, because he's doing the similar times as Zak Groenewald and the likes of the Wingfield BMW of the main man out there, Donnie van Niekerk. He has pretty much waxed the series for the last 2-3 years. because he's the icon, the man to catch. He's super duper consistent. He's a very good qualifier, gets away on the first lap, runs 11 tenths on the first lap, and then goes to a 10 tenths. Oh, Suleiman Effendi understeering heavily. Something went horribly wrong for Suleiman Effendi. He had that car turned in very, very tight. It just drifted towards the outside of the circuit, and he straightened it up, and that closed Zak Groenewald right up onto the back of Suleiman Effendi.
Now we saw that boxy BMW fishtailing itself around, coming out of G corner as he heads towards turn 4. Out of car kick clinic he comes now. Down the back bay. Watch out for this Holden Commodore as Zak slows down. Zak Groenewald has got a problem with that Holden Commodore and slows that 43 car down. The arm comes out the window, moves over to the left of the circuit. That big 43 Holden Commodore of Zak Groenewald retires the car into Park Vermeer.
Well, he's been through three gearboxes in that car from the time it was built until now. It's got a Jag gearbox underfoot, but it doesn't look like it's going to be working for him. So in excess of 10 Class X cars out there on the circuit for this, the very final race of the Mike's Place Clubmans Saloon Series. A big thanks to Mike of Mike's Place that was also involved with the hill climb last week Sunday with Percy Swanepoel, and we look forward to an ongoing relationship between Mike's Place and Clubmans Racing at West Rhodes Motor Club.
Well, I'm having a look at a dice that's making its way now up the Joubert Straight towards G corner, and it involves the Polo Classic of Damien Lopez. Right there behind him, it's Bruce Meyer of Industrial Flooring and the red Jetta 2 of Willie Swart as they head through the kink and make their way into Damstep. These three guys have been all over each other. Once again, Meyer looks up on the inside, Lopez, and turns him around. Well, he stuck it up on the inside. I don't think Lopez saw that he was there, and there was contact, and Meyer kept on going, and Damon Lopez found himself unceremoniously turned around.
A very dangerous position where that car is standing. It's on the curbstone, on the exit of turn 3, the old Rose Foundation. Anybody coming through there that is unsighted is going to have to really climb on the anchors, and Chiara van Niekerk almost blundered into that car. Chiara on the last almost lost the back end of that Golf as well as she came through there. A very dangerous position. Waved yellows being flagged on the entrance to turn number 3.
Well, that Damon Lopez car still standing out here, and the rest of the field just working their way around. We go have a look now at another fight coming out of turn 1. Well, that was the fight that involved those guys. There's only 2 of them in that fight right now, and it is Bruce Meyer and Willie Swart as they head towards turn 2. But closing up on them, there's another fight heading into turn 2. They are closing up on the Meyer Swart, and that is the 3-way tussle with Charles Visser, Paul Minnick, and Stacey Wilson. The 3 of them through the kink are closing up on that dice ahead of them between Meyer and Swart. Remember, Gary, no overtaking in that sector. Yellow flags due to the Damon Lopez car that is standing in that area.
Yeah, that's in a very bad spot, that. But given the conditions, the clerk of the course decides let's let it roll. And Donnie van Niekerk takes the win. Class A, Suleiman Effendi, also Class A, will come through behind him and take that second position overall, as looks like Wilson has come through after having problems in heat number 1. He manages to come back for heat number 2 and takes a good position there as well. Steve McCarthy, the leading Class X car. Charles Visser will probably be second of the Class X's.
Right, here comes Bruce Meyer, Willie Swart across the line. Right behind them, it's Charles Visser, Stacey Wilson, and right in there behind Stacey Wilson, JP Shea. Lovely to see JP back out on track again. He hasn't been out for a while, and the chairman of the KPL drivers, Francois Fontonda, brings the Polo across the line. Here comes Gary Smith, and right behind Gary Smith is Ferris Mannon that crosses the line to finish his race just behind the Gary Smith BMW.
Sure, that was a pretty good race, I must say, overall. And it looks like Kiara van Niekerk has in fact picked up the win in Class E from Ryan Large. So, yeah, everything that we'd wanted and more. Van Niekerk from Mcfadden in Class A. Class B, there was no cars out there. In Class B, there was only Minnock, and Minnock dropped down heavily towards the end of this race as well.
Welcome to KFM 94.5.
The sun is out and I got that feeling. The KFM summer is here. The heat is not just emanating
From the tarmac on the roads, emanating from your speakers. It's got me in the fields, the KFM summer fields.
KFM 94.5.
For free, and that purely because of the fact that the viewership was utterly amazing, in excess of 19,000 views. And well, we knew we were very popular, but we didn't realize we were that popular. Well, today we've realized that we are actually popular because Premier Alan Windy has actually come to join us here today. Premier, good day to you and welcome to the home of motorsport in South Africa, Western Province Motor Club.
Thank you very much, and really great to be here. And I suppose you like looking at a politician in an orange overall.
Well, it's different, there's no doubt about it, but then again, we like to do different things here at Killarney International. Premier, it's fantastic to have you here today. Troubled times in Cape Town. It must be a very difficult period in your career to try and overcome the normal problems that we have in South Africa, and now COVID-19 just going on top of that.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, when you put up your hand, it doesn't matter. You take the challenge as it comes. And I must say that the people of the Western Cape have risen to the challenge. They helped us flatten the curve. We've got a bit of a rise again, and we're going to get them to flatten the curve a second time. But then we've got to get back to the economy. We've got to get back to jobs. We've got to get back to racing on weekends.
I like the way you roll, make no mistake. You have, in all the interviews that we've seen, and you've done so many of them recently, you've sounded pretty confident that the measures that we have in place in the Western Cape is the right measures, and if we all just do it right, we should be okay.
Exactly. I mean, I really don't think we need more lockdowns. Lockdowns were to get our health response ready. We've got a world-class health response. We just mustn't overburden it. That means we've got to follow the rules. We all got our masks and we social distancing. We know what to do. Let's just get that basic right. If we get that right, then we can go racing on weekends. Our businesses can get back up and running. We can welcome people to come and spend their summer holidays with us. They've also got to come and be part of the success and not come and burden us. But we need them to also, you know, do what's the right thing. But we've got to get the jobs back up and running.
Massive pressure that's been put on our local medical facilities. And you have said it before, you are very, very impressed at the way our local guys have adapted and actually helped us to flatten the curve. Do you believe that that's played a big, big part in the Western Cape being able to be in the situation where it is right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we proved that we could innovate. We proved that, I mean, we built the biggest field hospital on the African continent here in 6 weeks. We can do it. We can do anything we set our minds to. And that's the same thing. We've got to keep our minds on it. We've got to build a new normal while we wait for vaccines. And really it is critical that everyone plays their part. You know, obviously we would like to see spectators in their thousands here, and it's soon. You know, as soon as let's just beat this thing and we'll be back to where we were.
From your line of information that's coming through to you, the actual vaccine, how long? What are we looking at in Cape Town for us personally here?
Okay, so these are the kind of discussions we have in our strategy meetings. We had one yesterday afternoon. We're very jealous that New York in about 2 weeks are going to start rolling out vaccines for their frontline workers. We're asking exactly the same questions. Can we get the approval through our health bodies, our recognition bodies have got to sign off. We're going to be putting a lot of pressure on them. We need to get our frontline workers, our people at risk, And so I would estimate probably here in Africa 3 months' time. But we're already looking at the different supply chains, how we can get it put in place now. So as soon as it's approved, we can start rolling them out.
Well, that's fantastic. Talking about much more enjoyable things, you had a chance to actually circulate around West Province Motor Club today. Slightly different to addressing thousands of people on a microphone.
And riding my bicycle. So I was told as I got out the car, if I didn't have ears, my smile would have gone right around my face. And I was with Sorrel. I mean, what a pleasure! And it's his birthday today. And cheapers, it was great. It was like being on rails. It was great.
Well, it's fantastic to have Sorrel that, in fact, is resident here in the Western Cape. West Province Motor Club actually did a function for him, 50 years of Sorrel van der Merwe, right here at Western Province Motor Club. It was totally packed out. It was an amazing experience that we had. And in fact, Sorrel van der Merwe, the legend, and many others will be riding the 9-hour year today. We are very impressed with the turnout that we've got. For you that's not involved so much in motorsport, it must be quite an eye-opener to realize how big motorsport actually is in South Africa and in the Western Cape.
Absolutely. And of course, talking to Dr. Mills about a vision around motorsport and what is the innovation that comes through motorsport. How do we bring in young people? Where do we do training and how do we use it as that lever and that catalyst for developing future careers and future economies?
What's nice is that Western Province Motor Club has got a whole social side to it as well, where numerous different sectors of the community get involved with bicycle rides, etc. here at Killarney. Do you foresee this type of scenario that we've got here going forward post-COVID-19, or do you think the whole outlook of people post-COVID-19 is going to be different in terms of going into crowds?
No, I'm sure that we are human beings. Human beings like socializing. That's just what we do. If we didn't socialize, if we locked up all the time, we wouldn't exist as human beings. So definitely, there has to be a post-COVID, but post-COVID is going to be new and different.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's how do you embrace? We can't go back to exactly where we were. We've got to fix the broken things, but we've got to use this opportunity to innovate, to become that new destination. It was great to meet so many internationals who were here, who've come from other parts of the world to come and see what's happening here, and listening to them to say, this is great, having a look, how we are busy putting on these events here, and saying next year they're going to come with more people. Really, people are excited about what's happening here, and so that's great. It's about growing the economy. It's about if people who love this kind of thing, this becomes part of your life. You don't ever work a day in your life because you're doing something that you love.
Mr. Windy, it's been awesome to have you here by us. Now that you've seen it firsthand, I'm sure we will get you back here by us again in the future, and we look forward to the next time Des Isom and the crew, the family of West Province Motor Club have an opportunity to invite you here. You can see what it looks like in all its glory with the packed grandstands post-COVID-19. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you here, and it makes us feel comfortable to know that somebody like you is going to bring us out the other side of COVID-19. Thank you very much. From Western Cape to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Really great being here, and I also look forward to that day.
Right, folks, that's the voice of Premier Alan Windy. And we're just going to do a quick group photo. I'd love to get Dr. Greg Mills on the mic with us as well. We're just about to go live with Makita Formula Supercars and V8 Masters. We'll come back to you in 30 seconds from now. Right, down the back main they roll for the last time in 2020. Makita Formula Supercars V8 Masters, a very well-attended V8 Masters towards the end of 2020. Looking forward to a solid season going forward for the V8 Masters as they work their way down towards Cape Town corner, getting them all together, lined up nice and smooth. Looks like the front 4 or 5 have been inverted. Looks like Fabi Tefani is going to be on the front row of the grid on the outside. It looks like Mark Ridgway is alongside him. And then behind that, that's going to be Sean Moore. And then Rui Campos is going to be the next one that's in there. Right, here we come up towards the line. It's going to be Fabi Tefani on the outside. It's going to be Ridgway on the inside. Down towards turn 1 they go. Campos tries to look on that inside line. Sean Moore stays on the outside. Tefani trying to go for the whole shot. Tefani on the outside line. Can he hold that one there? It's just about going to be. It's him and Ridgway. He's holding on. Ridgway trying to come across the front of him. For Tefani is not going to give that one away. Campos says, I'm going to follow through. Sean Moore decides that's the spot to be. And he sticks it on that inside line. Ridgway has now got Campos on his inside. I think Campos is going to try and get through. It's 2 abreast as they go down into turn number 3.
Well, Supercars leading out of turn number 2. G-Energy corner. It's Hilton Peters, Ryan McCarthy, Cedric LeBon, Andrew Moffat all make their way through. And that's the same group of gentlemen that were having heat number 1. This time Hilton Peters leads out. He had a good start. He flashed out. And Ryan McCarthy saw a little bit of a gap going into turn number 1. He took it, now sits up in second place. He's going to draft his teammate Hilton Peters down towards Fostron corner. There he is, hugging the bumper, sitting right up behind him. The wind's going over both cars now, down towards Fostron corner. Ryan McCarthy and Moffat looks up on the inside of LeBon. LeBon has been absolutely on rails most of the day, but Moffat slides up on the inside and he makes it through to third. Hilton Peters still sitting up in first place there with Ryan McCarthy looming in his shadow. They work their way around out of the turn number 5 onto the Poor Straight. And this time Ryan looks up on the inside. Ryan up on the inside of Hilton now. He's going to brake late, going down into KFM and takes the lead.
Well, Campos is sweating it out in 4th position. That's not where he expected to be whatsoever. And it's Sean Moore that's in front of him. In front of that, it's Ridgway. In front of that is Tefani. There is no doubt that he's nowhere near where he wanted and or expected to be at this stage of the fight. But there's still 6 laps to go. It's not over, said and done. Tefani has pretty much broken the toe from Ridgway. Ridgway has not broken the toe from Moore. Moore slowly but surely creeping up at him as they work their way down the back main. Campos almost out of that toe, but Sean Moore picked up big time on Ridgway as they went down into Cape Town corner.
Well, the Supercars still being led out by Ryan McCarthy, Hilton Peters there, Andrew Moffat second, Cedric LeBon, who's in the silver class, sits there in P4. And bringing up the 5th place there, it's the 93 of Elton Steyn, who's also in the silver class. So Elton chasing down Cedric LeBon, hoping to make a bit of an impact there. They come out of Fostron corner, and Ryan McCarthy is it still Hilton? I think Hilton's still leading out as Ryan. Ryan's got past. So Ryan takes first place. Ryan McCarthy in the Sejan Investments Vegeta Super Power Tool Supercar. Hilton Peters and Moffat still leading Cedric LeBon, but LeBon's looking up on the inside. Cedric LeBon looks up at the inside and he slides it in. What a lovely maneuver there as the shutout comes to fruition. And Cedric LeBon moves up into 3rd place and he's first in the silver class ahead of a gold class car. And just a little way behind them is Elton Steyn.
Fabio Tefani doing what he does best. Lead them out, stretch them out, work it down the back main. Well, he has stretched them out, but he hasn't gone any further away from Moore. Moore has still got the attentions of Ridgway, and in fact they now are bringing Rui Campos just a little bit closer. That's the 4 gold class cars that's out there. Schroeder, the one that is missing, he got whacked in the driver's side door earlier on in the beginning of heat number 1, and that's taken him out of racing for the rest of the day. Alistair Simpson a little way further back. That's the grey with a black stripe over the top. It's just gone past the start-finish line now. That's the leader in the silver class, and he is undoubtedly the class act of the silver class cars. He was the pole qualifier in the silver class for heat number 1. He pulled away and got into the lead of that class ahead of Jason Ibbotson. And Menno Parsons finds himself now third in the silver class. It looks like Simpson has stopped on the outside of turn number 4 as you go down into the back main. And the way that the wheels are turned on the front of that car, I think there could have been a problem with that front suspension.
Right, so leading out the supercars, Ryan McCarthy, who's up behind one of the APVs there, going into G Energy corner. He's on a fly. He's pulled away there from Hilton Peters. Cedric Le Bon creeps up behind Hilton Peters. Le Bon is absolutely on rails today. He's having a fantastic time. And now Rico Barlow looks after that car. Le Bon really motoring. And Moffat trying to stay in touch as they're going to turn number 3. So Hilton Peters has got his work cut out now as he tries to keep Cedric Le Bon at bay. They make their way up the KFM straight into Car Care Clinic corner as the leader, Ryan McCarthy, exits Car Care Clinic corner. And up on the curbstones, rolls out, gets his foot firmly stuck down into the side of the floor there. And here comes Cedric Le Bon chasing Hilton Peters. Well. If there's going to be a driver of the day in the supercars, it's going to be Cedric Le Bon, because man, is this guy driving the wheels of that car.
I must say Cedric Le Bon is very, very impressive today, and I think that's going to be the type of thing you're going to see from him for 2021. Going back to the V8 Masters as they work their way into the KFM straight, it's Fabio Tofani that has slowly but surely been closed down by Sean Moore. He brings with him Mark Ridgway that was all over the back of him, but now about 4 or 5 car lengths off him. The 3 of them together, I think, creating enough draft to help just a little bit the Rui Campos, the 4th of the gold class cars, as they work their way down the back main. Whether it's going to become a 4-way battle, well, I think now that they've closed onto the back of Fabio Tofani, it could quite easily become a 4-way battle as action in turn 2.
Brilliant stuff here. Cedric Le Bon up on the inside of Hilton Peters. Peters gets it a bit wrong. Le Bon's got the inside line. He's going to drag him down towards turn number 3. Hilton Peters dives around the outside as Le Bon steps on the brakes. I think not enough gumption there, Gary, as he tried to stick it up on the inside. But I can tell you what, going down towards turn number 5, the gloves are off.
Well, I tell you what, I think see the cameras is actually on that Makita Formula Supercars battle, because what a battle it is, and pushing very hard. I don't know what the point situation is, but I got a funny feeling that it's a tussle for overall points for placings for the season that's going down on this very much last gasp effort with just 2 laps to go.
Well, Hilton Peters up around the outside. Cedric Le Bon up on the inside. They're side by side coming out of Fastron corner. Le Bon's up alongside. He's going to go up against the wall. He's going to keep that one now. They're going to drag down towards KFM as they come under the bridge now. They're side by side. It's Hilton Peters, Cedric Le Bon over the line down towards KFM. Who's going to be the latest on the brakes? Le Bon is leaving it late as Peters goes in, but Le Bon tucks in up beside him, and Peters is going to have the upper hand.
Mark Ridgway has gone to wall. Mark Ridgway on the outside of Tofani as they went into the braking markers down in Cape Town corner, turn 5. Here they come out towards us now. They're about to start their last lap. Tofani under pressure from Mark Ridgway. Sean Moore right in there as well as they come across the line. That is the way that they will end, with Rui Campos coming through in that 4th position. Then I think that the checkered flag actually came out a lap too early. Either way, it's Alistair Brown from Jason Ibbotson in the silver class so far. We wait for Menno Parsons to come through behind that.
Right, Menno Parsons and Gadek come over the line, but here comes Ryan McCarthy. Ryan McCarthy's going to bring it home in P1 in the 2nd race. And I tell you what, Hilton Peters has been swamped there. He's got Moffat alongside him now, but it looks like he's going to shut Moffat out. But what about this man? Cedric Le Bon, P2, race 2. What a drive there. Cedric Le Bon, Hilton Peters, Moffat crossed the line. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. And Elton Steyn will bring it home in P5, and Johan Gunling will bring up the rear.
Wow, that was the last time we see Makita Formula Supercars in V8 Masters for 2020. Gold class, Fabio Tefani from Mark Ridgway, Sean Moore, Rui Campos. The silver class, Alistair Brown from Jason Ibbotson, Menno Parsons, and Dennis Gedik, bringing up the next position there. So a big thanks to Makita for their sponsorship for 2020. And, well, V8 Bosses, I'm sure they're going to pick up a sponsor for 2021 as well.